Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about Transformers Agent. So Transformers Agent has been launched by Hugging Face this week, okay, which has been inspired by AutoGPT. Okay, so in last few months we have seen many AutoGPT based agents. There have been multiple agents that people have built in community based on large language models. Okay, of course with tools like LangChain as an example. Okay, so Hugging Face has released this Transformers agent, which gives you an option to have multiple backend engines of large language models, like for example OpenAI or Hugging Face, or there are multiple others as well. So this is completely available as open source when you go with any Hugging Face based backend. So this is what we are going to explore today, and we'll also build a simple Streamlit application with the Hugging Face backend to see how we can leverage the functionality of Transformers agent. So if you see, currently I am on their Hugging Face Transformers agent site, and it says it's an experimental API because these large language models are being updated or improved periodically. So this is an experimental API which is subject to change as the large language model changes. Okay, so it says building on the concepts of tools and agents. There are multiple tools which has helped build these agents, where you can have these high level modules or classes and leverage it for your tasks. For example, scrapping something or generating images, or that can be multiple other things. And we have LangChain, Llama Index, GPT for all, GPT for free. A lot of other tools have been developed, okay, on those lines. So you can see it says in sorts it provides NLP API on top of Transformers, and they have multiple backend as we discussed earlier, right? It has OpenAI backend, it has Hugging Face backend. You need those API or tokens when you talk about Hugging Face to work with these agents. It's pretty much simple. If you come over here, you'll see they have given a documentation also, and very few lines of code, because it's all this high level API, the classes that they have created. You just use those classes to use it for your specific task. You can see importing OpenAI agent from Transformers, and then passing the model text DaVinci 3, which is one of the most capable model by OpenAI based on Instruct GPT. Okay, so text DaVinci 3, which is GPT 3.5 or 3. Based on that, you can see that they are having this OpenAI agent class, and there you have to add your API keys. If you want to use Open Assistant, okay, the Open Assistant has also be released as an open source large language model by Yannick Kilcher and the team. You can also use that. You can also use Bigcode by Starcoder, etc. You can also use that here. Okay, you can see import HF agent coming from Starcoder. By the way, I'll also create one video very soon on Starcoder, how you can generate code or act as a coding assistant. Okay, that video is also coming, so please stay tuned. Now they have given this Colab notebook that you can play with it. It says Transformers can do anything, and I agree with this line here. Transformers can do anything indeed. So you can see that they have a version. They need this specific version of Transformers, and then do anything with Transformers. So whatever you want to do, you want to generate an image, you want to caption an image, you want to query a document, you can do this kind of task with these agents. Okay, which has been also defined in this Colab notebook. You can see this is how they are generating an art here on an image. You see, generate an image of a boat in the water. You got is also captioning it. They also have some text to speech functions there with their inbuilt in that agent class. They have chat mode as well. You can chat with it. Okay, so multiple things are there that you can explore. I'll take a simple example. I'll put it in a Streamlit app and see how we can do it locally. Okay, we can do this locally in your CPU machine as well. Of course, there will be a latency issue, but it's fine. Okay, it responds well on a CPU machine as well. So you can see it agent name. You need an API key as we discussed. So if you don't have an API key, that's called Hugging Face token. In case of Hugging Face, you have to go to Hugging Face here on your account. Okay, on your account you have to go inside, let me just show it quickly, AI Anytime. See, this is my profile. Okay, and you have to click on, let me just go to create organization first, or go to settings first, and then you have your tokens over here. You click on access tokens, this your SSH So you can find it out all your tokens over here. Then you have your keys. You can create SSH keys if you're also trying to push any models to the space or something like that. You can also do that. Let me come to account. You can configure your account settings, etc. You don't have any part of any organizations. If you're working for some enterprises, they will probably have an organization and they can add you as a member here. Okay, and they also have, you know, paid plans, etc. So you need an access token, you know, to work with this agent here if you are using the Hugging Face backend. So let's jump into this, guys. Okay, we'll see how we can set it up locally, what kind of requirements we have to install, and how we can write a simple function to, you know, use this agent and generate an image, for example. And it will work for all other tasks as well, which has been, you know, mentioned here on this transformers agent documentation. Okay, let me just go back here. You can see this page, right? You can go through the documentation. You can use any other task as well. So you can see I'm currently on my VS Code here. Okay, these are the requirements txt. You need this specific version of transformers to, you know, work with this agent. Then you need, if you want to again use the OpenAI backend, you need OpenAI. I can see I am Hugging Face Hub because I have to log in with Hugging Face, authenticate with my access tokens, Hugging Face tokens. Then I need diffusers because, you know, if you're going to generate art, diffusers again an open source. You're going to leverage diffusers to generate the art using this agent. We need an accelerate, which accelerate the Hugging Face kind of infrastructure. We have accelerate. When we have dataset, we have torch, we have sound file if you are working with the sound, because as we discussed that you also have, you know, sound based capability to read your captions, for example. Then you have sentence piece or dependencies for transformers. Okay, then you have OpenCV Python to work with the image operations, or if you're performing any image based task, you need OpenCV Python. We have .env to handle the APIs. We have protobuf, which is a kind of a data structure by Google, which helps you to work with these deep learning models or the tensors that we are working on, right? And then we have a Streamlit, a web framework, okay, in Python to write faster code and build data science apps. Now, what I will do, I'll create an app.py here. In this app.py, I will just start writing my code for Streamlit and how we can, you know, leverage this agent. So if you see, I have a venv where I've installed all these requirements. So what I have to do now, I have to go inside my folder and activate that environment. So let me just activate that environment. So you can see here is my transformers agent folder. Now in this folder, I have created a virtual environment and now I'm going to activate that. So how do we do that? So we have to go inside venv, cd scripts, and /activate, and there's a couple of cd dot to go to the root directory, and yes. So now I'll just make a clear and I'm already in code. So my virtual environment is activated. This is my folder structure here, you can see. And let me go back to VS Code. Let's write the code, guys. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do, let's set up the Streamlit thing first. So import Streamlit as st. Let's give a title, st.title, and in this title I will write transformers agent demo, transformers agent demo, and we'll have a text prompt area. We need a text input where the end user can write the prompt or can write their, you know, basically the query that they can do, okay, to generate the image, okay, with the help of transformers agent. So let's do that. So in that case I will write, okay, let's have a something called text prompt. Let's make it a little self-explanatory. So text prompt Hugging Face, I'm just going to write st.text area. Let's have a text area. Maybe let's have a text input. So st.text input, and in this I'll write enter your text prompt or something like this. Okay, enter your text prompt. And now if text prompt Hugging Face is not none, if there is a value inside it, let's execute this setup code. So if st.button, let's have a button there, and let's call it in on run Hugging Face agent. It's my button name, and here I will write the code. But meanwhile, let's do one thing. Let's have two columns, by the way, here. So we'll have column 1, column 2, or maybe not. Let's do one thing. Let's pass currently and let's run this app. So how do we run a Streamlit app, guys? So Streamlit run app.py from the folder, and it will open a new tab in the browser. and you can see your title Transformers Agent Demo. It says enter your text prompt. Here you can enter a text prompt. For example, let me just write quickly. Can we just print that whatever I'm writing? ht.info. For example, your input prompt is, for example, this will go text prompt Hugging Face. Now let's see that, and I'm gonna write okay, a lion is looking at a man in the forest, something like this. A very simple prompt, and you can see your input prompt is a lion is looking at a man in the forest. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to use that agent, transformer agent with the diffusers backend. Okay, we are going to leverage diffusers here. Okay, the open source text to image generation, and we are going to use that. Let's see how we can do that here from Hugging Face directly. We are not using OpenAI. This is completely free. We are not using paid version, etc. here. So in this case, let's write a function over here, top of this, and for that we have to also import stuff. So let's import operating system OS, import OS. Then we need, for example, we have to do from .env import load.env from import. And now from Hugging Face, we need, from Hugging Face, it should not be capital, this will go small. From Hugging Face underscore hub import login, import login, and then we need HF agent, the Hugging Face agent, because we are not using OpenAI agent. We don't want to use a paid version here. So from transformers import HF agent. This should work. HF agent, this looks okay to me. So what we have done here, we have imported Streamlit, we have created this Streamlit, we are going to create a Streamlit kind of app, and then we have import OS. Then we are having load.env to handle this env file. So you can see I have a .env file where I have kept my Hugging Face token, and then I'm using Hugging Face Hub import login because I have to authenticate with the Hugging Face Hub to use this HF agent, and this is what I'm doing here. So now let's do one thing. Let's do load.env, which is a constructor here. So the constructor has been initiated. Now let me just make some comment also. So Hugging Face token management or something, let's call this here. We'll going to write the code for Hugging Face token management, and let's hit write. So Hugging Face underscore token, for example, and this gets os.getEnv. So os.getEnv Hugging Face API token. This is what I have defined in this env file. And now let's use the login class of Hugging Face. So login Hugging Face token, that's it. Now what this will do, this will authenticate with the Hugging Face hub, and you can use this Hugging Face agent now. Okay, so let's write that function. So let me just do here, writing the function for image generation using HF agent. So let's do that here, HF agent in this case, and I'm just writing diff Hugging Face. Let's call this agent here. So Hugging Face agent, and the input parameter will nothing but your text prompt Hugging Face. So that's basically a prompt. So let's write a prompt as a param here. So diff defining Hugging Face agent function having an input parameter called prompt. So it's so much, how should I put it? It's so easy, right, to work with Python. Okay, and now we have a new programming language, Mojo, also. I am on the wait list. I'm waiting for that programming language to test it out. There have been talks that it has been 35,000 times faster, when you compare to Python. I don't believe that yet, but let's see what happens with that. So Hugging Face agent, and in this HF agent, we need that star coder link here. Let's go back. Maybe we'll take that from here, the star coder thing. And this is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm just going to copy this, this URL, and I'll come back here on this Colab. I'll put it over inside this. That's it. So we are going to use the star coder backend, to generate the to work with this Hugging Face agent. So my agent has been defined, okay, HF agent, and if you want to use OpenAI, just change this over here, but again you have to manage that API key for OpenAI as well. Maybe you can find that in my GitHub repository. I will give the code for both the backend, both the most used backend, OpenAI and Hugging Face agent in this case. So let's write here something, star coder is initialized, okay, something like that. Can I take it from here? Okay, they have an emoji, I want to take that emoji. Okay, can I copy this? Control, pasting over here, I can do that. Let me do that. Streamlit supports emojis as well, guys. So based on markdown, right? So it does. Xt.write star coder is initialized. Okay, let's make this C is capital. Okay, star coder is initialized. Now what we'll do, we'll have a query. So query is nothing but we're going to run that on with the agent, the prompt that we have. So the command is agent.run, and you just pass that prompt. So you can see I'm passing this prompt, query agent dot. Now I have an image name. So image name equals, I have to give that image name because I have to show that on UI, Streamlit UI. So I have to assign it an image name, okay, that I can just return that. So output underscore image underscore, let's call it Hugging Face. If you are going to use OpenAI, then you have to write one more function, and then you have to create one more image name if you want to keep a separator there. Huggingface.png. Now this is my image name. I am saying to agent, okay, whatever image that you generate, please assign this name, okay, to that image. So I can just load it and show it on the Streamlit. So image name is done. That they have a command called query.save. There's a method, and I'm going to save this image. So let's save that. So image name, it will save in my directory, query.save. And then we'll just return the image name. So I'm just returning this image name, return image name. That's done. So I think we have written our function, Hugging Face agent. What we are doing, we are having a prompt, then agent, HF agent, passing this star coder link to use this as a transformer agent in this app. Then we have star coder is initialized, query agent.run prompt, image name, output image huggingface.png, query.save, image name, and return image name. Now here in this case, what I'm going to do, guys, okay, so your input prompt is text prompt Hugging Face, and let's just write output image Hugging Face, output image Hugging Face, and this will go as my function. I'm going to utilize that function. So Hugging Face underscore agent that we have written on top, and I'm just going to pass my prompt that I'm taking from end user, which is text prompt Hugging Face. And that's it. Just st.image, the Streamlit image method, to show the output image Hugging Face. We are done with it, guys. So 30 lines of code. We are using our transformers agent to generate an image from your prompt. Now you can do the same thing for caption generation, for asking a query to document that. You can find it over here in this documentation as well. They also have given in the Colab notebook. If you come down, you can see this is caption, this is getting this. So they're also performing some kind of segmentation mask. You can do that as well. This pretty much straightforward. Okay, and this is very powerful. Okay, and open source will win, guys, in the end. Okay, there is a memo from Google that they have accepted the defeat, that the open source community or open source ecosystem of this artificial intelligence for generative AI, etc., will win this race, and we'll see that. And these kind of tools will help. Transformers agent and the multiple open source large language models are coming up with 4-bit quantized model that you can run it on CPU as well. Okay, so anyway, now what we'll do, we'll run this. We have written our function and the Streamlit code, okay, for the app. Let's run this, guys. So what I'm going to do now, okay, it's already running. So if you come over here, okay, just do a rerun. It says cannot import name HF agent from transformers. Okay, it says cannot import from transformers HF agent. Let's see that. Okay, I think I have done a mistake. It's not caps. This will be a small HF agent, and that goes the same over here, HF agent. Now let's come back. Let's rerun. Now you can see we have our input box, enter your text prompt, where you enter your text prompt, and it will take a little time, guys. So what I will do, let me just give a prompt. So let's do like this. Okay, what should I do? So let me ask, okay, to generate the image. So what should I do? So let me just do generate an image. okay, in this text prompt area, an image of a boat in the water. This is what I'm going to do now. Generate an image of a boat in the water. Okay, and in this I'll just run Hugging Face agent. So let's do that. Okay, when I click on run Hugging Face agent, what it will do, it will just go in backend with the diffusers model and it will generate the image for us. Okay, so let's do that in this case. So run Hugging Face agent. When I click on this, what it will do, it already has authenticated with the Hugging Face. You can see star coder is initialized because this is the backend that we are using. This is the backend agent from Hugging Face that we are using for this specific task. Make sure that you are giving a very clear text prompt to the agent, because it has image segmentation tool, it has image generation, it has video generation. So you have to be very clear in your prompt. So if you see my prompt, you can see generate an image. So it's a clear instruction to the agent that okay, I need an image, okay, of a boat in the water. If you don't give, like, okay, you just come here and say okay, a boat in the water, the agent will not understand, okay, that what you are looking for. Okay, if you don't define it specifically. Okay, so you have to be very clear in your prompt that you are making. So if you see, it's running currently on the right hand side top, the model. If I just open my terminal, you can see text config dict is provided, which will be initialized clip text config. Okay, so basically this is how the backend is working. You can see code generated by the agent, image generator prompt, a boat in the water. It will go for 25 steps. We are currently on the second step, which is the 8%. So what I will do now, I will pause the video here. I'll come back once we get the output, okay, because it will take a minute maybe or two, to execute this prompt and generate the image. So I'll come back once it's done. So you can see now, right, we got our image here, guys. So our input prompt was generate an image of a boat in the water, and you can see that we have received a image of a boat in the water. If I go back to this directory, you can see the output image huggingface.png here as well. So this image get it is stored in the directory, and we are just using here returning this image name, and we are showing that in output image Hugging Face, isn't it? So it took around a minute, okay, to run that, and we are on CPU machine. I am currently on a CPU machine. If you are on a GPU, it will be faster. It will take around 3 to 5 seconds depending on what kind of GPU you are using. So this was an example, the functionality of Hugging Face Transformers agent, that how we can use an agent to perform some kind of task like image generation, image segmentation. You have other documentation over here. You can see you can have voice capability as well. It has text to speech for your task like summarizing. You can read it aloud. It has caption generator. It has this mask. You can see it over here. So multiple tools are there. You can find that tools list here. You see these are the tools list, a curated set of tools. Now for translation, they are using NLLB, no language left behind by Meta or Facebook AI. They have the text summarization. They are using BART, not BOT. It's a BART. They are using for text summarization. For text to speech, they are using Speech T5, which is a very good model again. For speech to text, they are using Whisper. Again an open source model by OpenAI. They also have an API also, so it's also available as a closed source through API for faster responses. And then they have segmentation. For image segmentation, they're using clip segmentation. They are using VILT for image question answering. Okay, so it's a like vision, image and language transformer. So it has both image and language transformer for image question answering. For unconditional image captioning, they are using Blip. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, I think Blip was by Salesforce. If my understanding is not wrong there. Okay, so Blip was developed by Salesforce. It's caption the image. I also have a video for reverse engineering the image generation process, where I have used Blip to generate prompt from the images. You can find it out as well. I'll give the link in the description. Then for text question answering, they're using Flan T5. The extremely capable model for text question answering. For document question answering, they are again using Donut here. So all these tools are available. Please go through it. I'll give this Colab link in the description. This Transformers agent can be found again on Transformers website, but I also give it to you. This code will be available on my GitHub repository. I will share that in the description. So that's all for this video, guys. I think this is a great step. You can extend this tools capability further. You can have some additional tools. You can just pass it through the functions as well, and you can load it and you can use that. So if you are extending it further, please let me know what you are doing with Transformers agent. If you can share your link in the description, it will also help me and other guys in the community to take some inspiration that what you are doing with Transformers agent. Okay, so this is a good step for AutoGPT, mainly in the open source community. Okay, so if you like the video, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up icon, and if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel and share the video with your friends and to peer. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. See you in the next one.